Hey, hi, this is Dan Nolan, the managing broker of EXIT Realty Solutions out of Cherville. Just got done ribbon cutting Indiana, and we got a good one for you today. We're going to cover both sides of the Illinois and Indiana border. We do serve both sides, both Indiana and Illinois, and we represent equally. But without any further ado, I would like to take a minute to get you up to speed on things that have been going on in our markets. It is rather important that we keep up with things. You may see things shift a little bit, or you may have noticed things have shifted a little bit. But again, we still have income that comes in even when we're not selling homes. So remember that there are multiple streams of income. I can probably click off 5 different streams of income you can use your real estate license to produce income with. If you want some ideas, if you're stuck, if it's just not there for you, expand, get out of your box, get out of the comfort zone, and start reaching. Um, One of the things that might help you now is being prepared when you're in your car to have pre-written letters for people who are selling their homes on their own, and you see the sign in the yard. You might want to have something that compels them to give you a call if that doesn't. Introduce yourself, be a friend, um, and do help them. I just worked on a property with a gentleman I didn't even know until he saw my video because I liked the project. So again, reach out. You'll never know what's going to happen until you do it. So if you have a broker in mind, send them our way. We'd love to introduce them to the exit system. So this week, these are just headlines that I clipped as I've been going through and preparing for today. There's a lot of things in the United States that aren't quite looking so good. I think the biggest one that hits me the hardest because it's going to fall into the debt to income ratio is the one in the middle that says how to prepare your student loan payments beginning again in October. Because it is a part of the debt to income ratio and the formatting of a mortgage, we have to keep in mind that there might be people who out there may not even know. It's been on non-payment for 2.5 years, so you might want to be aware. It might, but there's a couple of things that are kind of sticking out in my mind. The most urgent we have on the screen right now is the government shutting down. Pending home sales fell. We all know that. We'll go through the numbers in a minute. The consumer price index rose 0.6% in August, and it's mostly gasoline and shelter. Building permits were supposed to be a little bit uh, higher than they were, and it came in just a little bit, but the builders are pushing hard. They may be pulling permits, but they may not always be putting sites on those permits. They could just have filed, and we'll get to it later. So that is just a good indicator of what the builders are doing, but not completing. Now I don't know what I do know of one subdivision. They have 74 completed homes, only 14 are on the MLS. So there are ways of looking for inventory when the inventory isn't there on your computer. So keep your eyes open. If you'd like some more shortcuts, that's a good time to, when we have our personal hour together, that's a good time for us to sit down and go through some of the things where inventory is hiding, and it's hiding in plain sight. My foreclosure class that I did the other day, we covered how many counties are just basically it's a sea of help. I pulled 50 at risk properties, and of the 50, 49 were not listed. So if you're looking for opportunity, let's have a sit down. The opportunity isn't always what it appears, however. We do have interest rates at a significant level that is just even uncomfortable for me to look at. It's been a while since I've seen sevens. And when I see 7.65, I think of the Obama money. When Obama first came into office, he was offering $1,000 relief for people to buy a home. And we're just about there. It feels like it's just about there. So the feeling, the market, and the stock market is still at elevated levels. Home prices, for the most part, they got a bump in 2000, 2001. It was undeserving. It was a fluke in the numbers. There's a ton of equity in this market. It was a gift from the gods. Now they got to give back a little if they want to make a move. That's a very uncomfortable thought for me as well. So let's keep an eye on interest rates and what we can do. I do know of a lender who's right now 4.5%. The builders can do that. They own the bank. They can play with your down payment. I mean, there are some concessions to get these homes bought. I do like how it's evolving, however. It used to be, the kids would get a house, it would be probably 30, 40, 50 years old, probably about 300 square feet too small. And, they would get their house. And the guy who sold that house, he would get to a mid-sized house. He's now looking at, like 150, 200. The guy who moved out of that house, he's going into the 300. The guy who sold that house, he's going into the. We used to have like a cycle, and you would repeat. Every 7 years, it would just repeat. Now that doesn't work. There's no such thing as it works. The market is broken right now, and finding solutions to our buyers' problems, which is affordability, is part of what we do. So keep an eye on your builders. Your builders are going to be your allies right now. We're members of the Home Builders Association. Show up to some of the meetings and some of the gatherings that we participate. We're sponsoring everything we can with the home builders because we know that's the soft spot in the market for our consumers. So let's keep that in mind. Domestically, uh, we're going. This is the only moving forward thing I want to use today. Pending home sales fell 7% in August, which means September is going to sell. Yeah, we scared them away. The interest rates are starting to take its toll on the American psyche, and they're just going to the sidelines. That's why it's important to find these interest rates that are appealing to their budgets. I mean, if it works, you can get a 4.5 to work. It's just a matter of helping show availability. It's up to the consumer if they want to, take 7% or 4%. Obviously, I'd be jumping all over that fours. So if you do get buyers, start with new construction. Some of these builders have 10-year, 5-year, 10-year guarantees. I mean, it seems like a very low risk talk to have with your client. I mean, makes sense to kind of help them save money. You look like you know what's going on in this crazy world. That's what they're looking for. Locally, Chicago, what did you do? Oh, Chicago's sales are down, but the prices went up. Now, that is not typical of supply and demand. That is just demand. They pushed the sales price up to 330. There's still a demand for those homes out there, which brings us back to well built, well maintained, uh, easy to walk into and own homes sell quickly. If you think you can just put your home on the market, that's going to take a while, and that's that 52-day market time. But inventory for homes 30% last month. Um, it, it 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 sucks because in Illinois, I mean, it's pretty fine. I mean, there's not an awful lot of new projects, if you will, but you'll find that different in Indiana. So if you have Indiana access, or if you need to give me a call for help in Indiana, erase the borderline between Illinois and Indiana and come out maybe 10 miles. I would go 10 miles into Indiana if I was, from, I'm from Illinois. I mean, it was no problem for me to go to Hammond when I first moved over here to open the office. It wasn't a problem. Um, it's just instead of driving east, I'm driving south, or instead of driving north, I'm driving east. Same drive time and a lot more opportunities for uh, budgetary fit. We have a lot of houses here. Some of the towns like Chesterton, St. John. I mean, you're going to pay. I mean, those are the Barringtons of Indiana, if you will. Yeah, you're going to pay a little extra. You're also paying for a lot better schools and safety as well. Um, but yeah, if you're struggling with inventory, give me a call or any of our dual state licensed person. We'll be glad to help you get access to some of the things that may work. Hey, if we got to show a house for you, we can talk about how to get that done. In Indiana sales kind of, I couldn't find a county that made any sense. These numbers just don't make sense. Northwest Indiana sales were down 93%. I couldn't find anything in the 80s. We were talking about border counties a couple of weeks ago, and even the border counties, Lake, Benton, all these right here, they're just as bad. So sales are down, opportunities are therefore down. So any opportunity, any lead that you get, make sure you treat them like gold because they are gold right. Case Schiller nationally, we got some prices in, and I like watching the Las Vegas market. Everybody knows I like Las Vegas. I go there to visit and take what I can and then come back. But let's compare what's going on the East Coast versus just Chicago. We just saw how home prices increased in Chicago. Look at how home prices have decreased in Las Vegas, Seattle, and San Francisco. The deflationary bubble is starting to form on the West Coast. Uh, that's a price war right there. I like our market the way we are. Las Vegas is nuts. And if you want to talk to Dawn Huff about how Las Vegas works, next time you're there, have an afternoon with Dawn. She will tell you everything about Las Vegas. But Chicago, man, they piled on. They not bad. Now you scared a lot of people to the sidelines, right? That means that they're watching. They're watching for what? They're looking for their down payment to be enough. They're looking for closing costs to be as minimal as possible, and they want to be able to make their monthly mortgage. Now, if you think about putting builder financing in front of them and just ask them if this is something that they would be interested in looking at, we're not trying to change lenders by any stretch of the imagination. Our job is to provide the information, make a logical conclusion, and a profitable one. So what we're doing here is taking a look at, well, if we were able to put something together now, is it going to pass the muster when it comes to all that doom and gloom that's going on out there? They're talking recession in 6 months. If you are holding on to this property for more than 5 years, several cycles will come and go. But right now, in the bottom of one of the corrections, it may make sense. But if home prices still continue to rise, it doesn't make sense. So weigh your pros and cons with your clients the best you can, and just remember, be comfortable with it. That's what they want. That's what they'll get. Now, I have seen the foreclosures coming a little bit more prevalent. At, we're back to teaching foreclosures again. Love to have you sit in on one of my classes. But what I did do is take a look at who was in foreclosure and who was not listed. I mean, you don't want to waste your time working a house that is already spoken for. How they're doing this in Indy is they don't have a computer flag to turn on to indicate that it's a pre-foreclosure. Now, here's the deal. If a home is in foreclosure and a home has equity, it's not a short sale. So it's not like it needs a short sale flag like we used to do back in the day. Now we need to flag them as pre-foreclosure, and we also have to have an addendum. Well, MRED, I went through MRED yesterday. Had a good talk with how Main Street car. I'm waiting on Naira, but we have to flag these properties properly. So if you are working on the dark side, I call it the dark side. It's you're a psychologist, you're a marketer. Um, I mean, there's a lot of things that come along with being involved with a short sale because it is emotional. It does suck, but the pain goes away when you do it right. But when we put if we are going to take a property and they're saying 30% of what's out there is probably either distressed or about to be filed or is already filed, take a look at the status. They're not disclosing their legal status correctly. Might even be something that you want to talk to the broker about before you write it off. I'm more than concerned, and that would go in my repertoire. I would want to make sure that I would like to make sure that everything is disclosed properly. So if you do know of somebody, there is a short sale addendum. Um, and here's an interesting thing that I found too. I went to I know where how to find the library, right? So I went to the library and I changed this to Chicago area realtors, and I changed the category I was playing. Frequently used forms. All of a sudden, the short sale form plays in place number 4. So I'm just saying, let's be aware of our clients' situations. Let's make sure that we're disclosing it properly, not just on the MLS, but also in writing. You know how the state is. Uh, let's talk about mental health. I know this market will probably drive you crazy. The market is crazy in itself, but it may be overwhelming. I saw this article about Kendra Wilkinson. I know she's a model. So, I she's, okay, Playboy model. She was hospitalized because of a panic attack. And the panic attack was because she was overwhelmed in balancing her life, 2 kids, a new job in real estate. It all became too much to handle. You all have been through the fire. I can't speak for her side of if you need to take a mental health day or if you need to just take a step away, that's okay. This is a career. This is not a sprint. Most real estate agents do have a lot of fat in their day where they do get to have some downtime. I appreciate my downtime when it comes. I like to keep busy, but do take care of your mental health. If you think this is too much, let me know that you're going to take a week off, and we'll help you get over some of the things that are stopping you, because this is no time to stop. This is really no time to stop. I mean, It's almost like full court press in the marketplace. Uh, but with the full court press on, we're losing brokers left and right. Non-performers are just going to fall out, and that's a shame. Uh, this is going to just be part of a down cycle that will change. So if you are having issues trying to keep your business in order, if you'd like some tips on how to get successful with moving your business forward, that's what those weekly meetings are for. I love sitting down with you guys and strategizing and helping your business, because this is not your listing. This is about moving your business. It's about the whole picture, and we don't want you left behind. So last week, let me do this. Last week we had the slide percent of changes in sales, how bad that was looking. I also had something thrown in at the bottom. See something at the bottom there? What is that? Text pink houses to my cell phone number and claim your gift. I'm going to be leaving Easter eggs around every once in a while. If you happen to see an Easter egg, take me up on it. But I do want you to know we want you successful, and maybe watching these videos might get you there. But it is the weekend. That means that we're out and about. We have a couple of holidays this month. We got October, November, and December. That's the last quarter of the year. So we're starting the last part of the year. This is a good time for us to take a look at our business plan, where we said we wanted to be, and back out 3/4 of it. That will tell us how much more we got to go to hit that goal. I can explain that when you call, but we do want you taking care of yourself. Uh, Go out there, go meet some friends. There's a lot of festivals this weekend. The home buyers, the home builders have their parade of homes. There's 17 new homes on that route, and we are a sponsor of it. It would be a good thing to maybe like client to just to take a look at the idea of a new house. It is a new concept to most people. When you go out and buy a house, you go into the neighborhood. Well, we'll take them to a new neighborhood and introduce them to rates that they could probably help get. Again, no offense to my lenders. This is about taking care of our clients. I know it's hard out there, but we got to do what we got to do for our best interests and our clients. So with that, this is Dan. I will talk to you again, but keep yourself busy and keep yourself happy. That's all that matters. It's not a sprint, it's a career. We'll see you next week.